Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, Evil Dungeon Master channel here on YouTube. We're going to continue along with the series of Rolemaster Express and character creation before we get into actually Rolemaster itself. But first, Ask the DM at evildm.com is my website where you could sign up for everything there, my newsletter, and get my videos directly to your mailbox so you don't have to worry about going to YouTube, my podcast to your mailbox, things like that. Ask the DM at evildm.com is my email address where you can ask me questions or chat with me, things like that. We could talk about various things. Buymeacoffee.com/evilDM is where you can support me, or you can click join on the bottom here on the channel for 99 cents a month. You become a member of this channel and get videos ahead of time, as well as a members only stream every Friday night. So if you're interested in those things, click join. Or if you want to do one time, buymeacoffee.com/evilDM. Anyway, let's get into the actual hubbubaloo. Rolemaster Express. As we said, this is a cut down version of Rolemaster Classic, which Rolemaster Classic, this is one of the books. It is chopped down for your convenience, for learning and for trying to get people into it. I was in the comic book store when I brought this. It was in there. I was talking to the owner about it, and because he wanted me to run games. And he wanted me to run games other than D&D. He's like, "What do you have? I know you play a lot of games, Vince. Do you have any other games?" So I said I've been reading Rolemaster for a little while now, trying to get back into it and MERP and things like that. And he's like, "Oh, I remember Rolemaster. Yeah, run a game of Rolemaster. Some people here would probably enjoy it." I said, "Well, I don't really know everything about it just yet. I know enough about it to probably run a simplistic game." He's like, "That's fine. I just want to bring people into the store. So I'm probably going to be running a game in the store. I don't know." But let's go to character creation today and talk a little bit about the steps of creating a character. And there are some typos in here in this little document about things, how it works and stuff like that. So, well, I guess we should do, before we go into character creation, talk about how the percentile rolls work. You will mostly roll you roll 1d 100 percentile rolls to obtain two dice together. You just roll 2d10s, call the color of the die, or if you have one that has the 10s already on it like this, then you're good. You need those two types of dice. So you just roll, you get your number. Now there are a couple type of rolls in Rolemaster. There's the low open-ended roll. To obtain a low open-ended roll, first make a D100 roll of 1 to 100, and a roll of 1 to 5 indicates a particular unfortunate occurrence for the roller. The dice are then rolled again, and the results subtracted from the first roll. If the second roll is 96 to 100, then the third roll is made and subtracted, and so on until a non 96 or 100 is made. The total sum of these rolls is the low end open roll. So, example, the GM asks the player to make a low open-ended roll, and the initial roll is a 4. So between a 1 and a 5. A second roll is made with a result of 97, so a third roll is made resulting in a 3. Thus, a low-ended roll would then become a negative 96. And you would use that to compare on a chart. But anyway, then there's the high open-ended roll. To obtain this, it's just the complete opposite way. Is instead of a 1 to a 5, it's a 96 to 100, and you would roll and add to it as opposed to subtracting. An open-ended roll is just basically both high-ended or low open-ended rolls. You're just rolling to get a result. So let's get into character creation here. There are 5 steps for character creation because it's so simple in this edition. The role of the character, choosing profession, realm, and race, generating your character stats, choosing your character skills, and finalizing your character for the game. Now, when I start a character, I like to think of a couple things. What is their personality? How do they behave? Are they brave? Are they sneaky? Are they mysterious? I kind of want you to describe a couple traits that you would want your character to be when you're thinking of him or formulating what your character is going to be like. Your motivation. What drives the character? Are they seeking wealth, knowledge, revenge, adventure, anything like that? Any interesting thing that'll define your character to make him pop off the sheet, as opposed to just being numbers written across the sheet. You want your character to seem as realistic as you possibly can without actually thinking is realistic, because it might be insane then. Alignment. Now, I've noticed with Rolemaster, at least when reading these things, alignment isn't too much of a thing in Rolemaster like it is like in D&D or something, or Palladium. The GM will tell you this is this type of campaign and these are the type of characters that I want. So you should just play those type of characters. Now he will probably allow shades of gray because there's good, there's evil, and there's some shades of gray. It's a significant decision to make, but you might want to check with the game master before picking one of them because he may not want a certain type of character in the game. You might want to answer some of these questions. Do they think the ends justify any means, or the morals and ethics apply to their methods also? Do you think laws and rules are right or and just or more important? Does the character believe that fate or other factors beyond their control shape events, or do they think their personal decisions and actions are important? So you may want to play a character that is good. Generally good. You don't have to be the lawful good paladin type from D&D. Good people can do things that aren't good to everybody. Good just basically means you try to do the best you can in life and treat other people respectfully while doing so. But then again, sometimes you may have to do something. Define it how you want with your GM. Talk to them how you're going to play your character, and they will tell you if that's cool or not. Remember, it's the GM has to formulate the world. He has an idea in his head, so you kind of have to wrap your character around the situation and the world. You can't be like, well, he's like, I'm running a campaign for good characters that are going to be heroes. You have to be like, no, I'm going to be an evil dick. It doesn't work that way. You won't be able to play the game. I'll tell you that. After that, you're going to want to kind of look over the classes. Now, I speak, they're classes, they're called professions. So you're going to want to look over the professions, and they only got 4 for you to play. The basic kind of 4 that you would think. A warrior, which is a fighter, a thief, which is kind of a scout, an aminist is a druid. I think that's how it's said. And then there's a magician or a mage. Those are the 4 things you want to do. Now, if you're playing this for the first time, you're probably going to want to stick to something a little bit easier to play, like a fighter. That's generally when I'm starting new games, I'll roll up one of the easier classes, and that'd be like a fighter, generally the pick. So once you pick that, you're going to want to decide what race and culture you are. Now, obviously, humans really don't get much at all. They're just humans. Common men, as they call them. And then you have your dwarves, your wood elves, and your halflings. Kind of like how Merp was, except they had hobbits. But anyway, you only get those 4, and each of the attributes or racial stats will get modified depending on what race you are. And there's 2 sets of them, and we'll kind of get into that in just a minute. Now, once you pick, say you're a human, you want to be a fighter. You want to generate, well, not generate, you want to assign your stats. Because you don't really, in this edition of Rolemaster, they want to get you right into the game right away so you can play. They give you like an array. Like in 3rd, 4th, and 5th edition, they give you an array of numbers. Think of it that way. They give you an array of numbers in this one to assign to the different stats. I want to keep calling it attributes, but they call it stats here, so I do apologize for that. So you get a 90, an 80, a 70, a 75, and a 75 to put in between your developmental statistics, which are constitution, agility, self-discipline, memory, and reasoning. Now, constitution obviously is self-explanatory. Agility is your dexterity, and self-discipline is maybe like your willpower, so to speak. The control over the mind, the body, and be able to stay focused. So kind of like a willpower, if you're talking about D&D and stuff. Memory, well, that's kind of like borders in the world of intelligence, kind of, or be able to recall or contain stuff in your mind. So it's essentially intelligence. Reasoning is similar to intelligence, but it's the ability to absorb and comprehend. So they kind of split the 2 of them up that way. Now, your primary statistics are your strength, your quickness, your presence, your intuition, and your empathy. Now, we understand what strength is. Quickness is essentially your measure of speed, reflexes, and things like that. Presence is control over one's mind, courage, bearing, self-esteem, kind of like your charisma in a sense, but not really your charisma. Intuition That's a combination of basically luck, genius, ESPA, ESPA, ESP, and favor of, they say, the favor of the gods. This refers to as, like, embodiment of this, that, the gut feeling, wisdom, luck, things like that. And empathy, your ability to perceive emotional states of others, and also the capacity to form emotional attachments to persons, places, or things. So, like I said, you have to assign those groups of numbers to your character. So, if you're going to be a fighter, it's most important to assign your highest numbers. Let's see here. You want to assign, because a fighter, your prime requisites for a fighter are going to be Constitution and Strength. Let me see if it says that under there. Yes, right here. Constitution and Strength. You won't really have access to choose any. In other editions of Rolemaster, you can mix and match some of your characters to have spell or essence or channeling or things like that. So you can be a spellcaster slash fighter. Okay, so let's continue along with what we're doing, but I'm going to move this over in the chart here so you can see it better. And I'm also going to bring up a notepad, which we can assign our stats to. So, going over this. Now, we said we had a 90, an 80, a 70, a 75, and a 75 to add to your stats in both categories. So we had Constitution, we're going to add a 90 because you're a fighter, and Constitution and Strength are your prime requisites. So you're going to want to put the maximum thing inside them. Agility will be 80, and then we go Self-Discipline 70, Memory 75, Reasoning 75. You could change that if you want, but I think that's the best way to put it. Prime stats, obviously you're going to want to put a 90 in Strength, 80 in Quickness, a 70 in Presence, 75 in Intuition, and a 70 in Empathy. And now we have the beginnings of our fighter going on here. We just make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Perfect. So now that we've chosen our... Well, let's put this down, how we're going to do this. Fighter, we're human, and we're good. That's all we need for right now. So, after we did all those things, now it's time to add things together and choosing skills. So once you get these bonuses right here that you see, these 10% bonus, 5% bonus, 0%, are added to skills when rolling. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Now, choosing skills, we have so many different things to do here. You have to think about it for a little bit. Every character of Rolemaster receives 35 DPs, which is development points, for spending on skill development. In Rolemaster Classic, in this book right here, it's determined a different way. They're determined by a character's developmental stats, which are these. There's a certain way of figuring out how many points you get. But they decided with this one, you get 35. A character is born with a rank 0 availability in all skills. Increasing a skill by 1 may be termed developing or acquiring or improving it. To develop a skill, a character expends the points indicated by the character development chart and improves their skills in that area, where the cost displayed is on the single table number there. So it's a little bit, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so we can see these skills. Perfect. So as you can see, they have the 4 classes listed here, and you can go down the line and look at all the different skills, and each class will have the ability to pick certain skills and spend a certain amount of developmental points on it. Now, as a fighter, we're probably going to want combat-based skills. We're going to probably, because there's a couple different, you start when you build your skills, you start with adolescence skills. So it's the same skill list. Just adolescence means when you were a child, about 14 years old, you're learning things, you're learning how to do things. These are the skills that you picked up and are considered level 0, and you improve them. So if we go to the skills and we spend our 35 points. Now, for example, we want to pick some type of armor. So maybe we want to start with maneuver and armor soft leather. It falls under the agility strength stat. Now you could spend 1 point for every rank that you want to be able to use or ability to maneuver in this type of armor. And the same thing goes for almost all these other things as well. So we want the following things. We want maneuver and armor soft leather. We're going to put 4 points because you can't go any higher than 4 ranks when you're first starting out. So and then with that, we're going to want some type of like weapon. Well, we're going to probably want to use edged weapons. And we're going to do 1 point for every, well, when it comes to one-handed edge, the first rank is 1 point, and then we do 5 for the next rank. That's what those things mean. Now, you would think with a fighter that a one-handed edged weapon would be a lot cheaper, but it's not. It is cheaper to start, but not get more ranks in when you're doing this side of things. So you're gonna probably want to get maneuver in soft leather, and you're gonna want to pick up some other skills like, oh, I don't know, crossbow, for example, or maybe one-handed edged sword, maybe. I don't know, because you don't want to not have a sword, right? Let's see, missile crossbow. You're gonna want the missile so you can shoot, your crossbow bolts at it. Let's see here. We're gonna want body development, which let me get to body development for you. Body development, where is that skill? Body development. Your total number of skill ranks in body development is one of the factors that determine how many hits or concussion hits a character can take without passing out. The first 3 of the following items refers to specific roles on the RMA racial stat table. And it goes into how that works for that. So you're going to want to put some points into body development so you could take a good amount of hits and not fall to the ground dead instantly in this game, because you never know. I've played a character and spent a session, and within a half hour I was dead because I made a foolish move. So it happens. That's how a lot of games. I mean, Traveler, you can die during character creation, so why not? These games are not meant to be, super powerful games in the system. So we're going to want the following skills: maneuver in soft leather, one-handed swords. I think that's really. Let's see here. Adolescent skills. Okay. So this is what we're gonna pick. I'll add it onto the character sheet here, or our little mini sheet here. So we're gonna want to pick. Why I did that? We're gonna pick maneuver in soft leather 4 ranks with 4 DP. We're gonna want to pick one-handed edge sword for 3 ranks for 9 DP. A missile crossbow for 2 points for 7 DP. One-handed edge dagger for 1 rank for 2 DP, and we're going to want to do body development for 3 ranks, 6 DP. Perception, because we want to be able to spot things, 2 ranks, 4 DP. And tracking, because I always think tracking is good for a fighter to have for 2 DP as well. Because tracking, as we can see down here, is just 1. Well, I made a mistake. That should be 1 for 4. I shouldn't have done that one. So I have to pull that one out, actually. So I'm going to put that at 1 rank, and that's going to make 1 DP. Because 2 ranks actually would have been 6 DP. And I'll just add another point to something else a little bit later. Probably I'll add it into one-handed dagger. Make that 2. Wait, let's see, one-handed dagger. No, we can't add it there. So we can't add it there. You know what? We're gonna take lore general. 1 rank, 1 DP. So now we have lore general. Perfect. Now that is our adolescence, adolescence. Now we go to our apprentice skill development. This is as we're getting older. We're in the approximate age of 17. We're going to be heading out into the world probably very soon. These are the things that you picked up between the other age up until 17. So these are the things you learn. Maybe you learn some type of trade or something like that. Whatever. You go back and you can pick what you want again. So what we will pick this time was we're actually going to pick. What did I decide here? Maneuver and armor chain, giving us 6 ranks in that. One-handed edge sword, we're going to add 3 ranks to that. Missile crossbow, we're going to add 2 ranks to that. Body development, we're going to add 3 more ranks. And perception, we're going to add another rank. So now that we have all that done, we become a level 1 character with 10,000 experience points. And that's really it. Your character, now you need to get some weapons, some money together, finalize your character, and then head out into the world to fight. And we fill out the character sheet, which is in the back here, which we'll get into a little bit later. Filling out character sheet. I didn't want to confuse people with the character sheet and how to translate everything. But I just want to go through the character creation process and show you it's rather simple just to get the character up and running and moving to play a game if you really wanted to. This video has gone on way too long. I didn't want it to be 20 something minutes, but it has been because I had to explain some things. Hopefully you've learned something. I'm sure I may have botched something along the way. Again, I'm reading this again after how many years of not playing this. So those that are the expert on these things out there are probably screaming, so I'll let you scream at me. Anyway, I'm going to head out. Keep original, keep it old school. Good night, God bless, and talk to you later.
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next